Welcome back, CSE 3200 Yukon Stores. We're in video 6 of chapter 20. We are just beginning objective 2, use the Moshi library to turn JSON objects into Kotlin objects. We're not getting to the Moshi library part in this video, but what we are going to do is we are going to fetch the JSON object from flickr.com. So we're going to have a little bit of setup before we do that. This is detailed in the book. At first it takes you through, let's go find at the at www.flickr.com/services/API/. Go find interestingness, and this is where we're going to find the list of pictures that we are going to fetch and put in our photo gallery. It also has you take a look at request formats REST, and it then has you go and make an API key, and you absolutely have to go do that or you are not getting these photos yourself. I'm not going to take you through that process, but when you do, there's going to be two options for a key. You do not need the private key. That's if you are getting into your own pictures, your own files. We just want public files, so take that key. It's a longer one. When we get our URL, it's going to look like this. And honestly, I can't even read that, and there's not much of a chance of blowing it up because it's filling the whole screen. But this part says https://api.flickr.com/services/rest. The next part of this is question mark method. I guess I can read it. /method is equal to flickr.interestingness.getList, and that's what we're seeing here. And then the next part is the key that you get. This is something close to the key that I got. You're just going to have your own in there. And then the format is equal to JSON, and no JSON callback is equal to 1, and extras is equal to URL_s. The no JSON callback is equal to 1 says do not include on the callback the method name in the parentheses. That's going to make it easier to parse on our end. And the URL_s says if there is a small version of the picture, we want that. Okay. Then the next thing we are going to do is we are going to take that response and we are going to update our API. Remember, it just said double quotes / and double quotes. We are now going to put all of that URL together by parsing it. So equals services /rest / etc. I just read this to you. You can actually see it here a little bit better. The API key will be set to our API key, something like that. You're going to have to paste your own in there. And then the rest of the parts with the plus signs to concatenate it together. Finally, we are going to change fetch contents to fetch photos. Notice it is still of type string. After that, we'll have a couple of places that we're going to have to make updates. We are going to have to go into, let's see, there's a couple of places we're going to have to do this. One is in the repository, and then this is in onView created in our fragment. This used to say fetch content, so it's going to say fetch photos. So after we make our change to our API, we're going to have to make our change in two other places. Once we have that, we have got our JSON objects. Let's get in the code. So we're here in Flickr API, and we are going to go above the interface declaration at the top level, and we're going to put in private constant val, call it API_key. Let's see, I missed the A. And I have my, my key set on my clipboard. You get your own. We're going to change our get, and this is going to say fetch photos. I'll come back to that get in a second. Let's go and find our other places where we fetch contents and change it to fetch photos. So in, let's see, photo repository, this needs to be changed. And then in the fragment, in Right here, this should say fetch photos. I don't know why it's not an error at this point. Probably just hadn't registered yet. Does not like fetch photos. Did I misspell something? Oh, yep, didn't change it on this end. Okay, so that's why I didn't have the error on the other end. All right, gone, good. All right, back to our Flickr API. We are going to, let's go ahead and end the parenthesis. I shouldn't have deleted it. That's okay. And now we start to concatenate all the parts of our URL that we want. So in double quotes, services. I got to be very careful to type here. I'm not going to get any autocomplete. /rest / method. Let's see, equals Flickr dot interestingness. Not a word, so better check the spelling on that. Get list. The end quotes go outside, plus next line, still in double quotes, the ampersand API key is equal to, and then our API key, use the $ and API. I should autocomplete that. It does. Outside, plus sign, double quotes, ampersand, format equals JSON, outside the double quotes, another plus sign, and double quotes, ampersand, JSON no callback, or no JSON callback. Even that doesn't autocomplete, but it is a literal string, so that makes sense. No JSON callback is equal to 1 outside the quotes, one more, plus in double quotes, ampersand, extras equals URL underscore S. Now let me just take a moment and double check all this because that's a lot of stuff that did not have autocomplete. And then we'll see what we get. Okay, I think it looks all right. There is another thing that we are going to have to change in the photo repository, but before I get there, just take a look here. Remember that we are going to get as part of our URL what we say we want to get with this function. So when we go over here to photo repository, we want to change this right here to api.flickr.com. So the base URL that we want is api.flickr.com/rest /services/rest. So remember that when this gets created and it gets concatenated with what you see here plus what you have in your API. All right, so I'm just going to run it and make sure that nothing crashes. And that's about all I can expect here. And then we'll be all set with this video. I did not get a crash. It's running, so we're good. At this point, let me get rid of this. So at this point, we actually have a JSON object. Now, we're going to have to figure out how we can take our JSON object and turn it into something that we can use. And that's what we're going to do over the next 2 videos. So I'll see you there.